Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and listen, it wouldn't be a BrickWall holiday season unless I was exactly 2 to 3 days late on giving you a review for a movie that obviously has something to do with Christmas, but I didn't make the Christmas deadline. But this one works because it's also part of my 20th anniversary review series, the 20 and 24, which is almost over. As a matter of fact, I already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 films left. 13, maybe a little less, but 13 films left to talk about before the end of the year. Can you do it? Will we get it done? Let's find out. But before I do all that, remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media, already subscribe. If you already follow us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, as well as Blue Sky. And yeah, so we're going to start getting into it. We're going to get into it right now. So the Polar Express is the movie I'm going to be talking about tonight or right now. So the Polar Express, this is a holiday staple, right? This movie has gotten so much love since its release in 2004. I remember this movie coming out, having so much hype. I remember seeing the teaser trailer, as I always remember things like that. Yeah, this was a high-profile movie at the time, so much so that, and it was based off of a book series. This was one of the first really big major movies to be put in IMAX. I do remember that. Yeah, this movie was huge. This movie was huge at the time, and it also helped. This movie had the involvement of Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, who voiced so many different characters in the movie. That I'll get into that soon, because that's a pretty interesting. Pretty interesting tidbit. This movie it's really good. So, like I said, it's based off a book, and it's about a young boy who has grown skeptical of Santa Claus. Is shocked to see a train stop outside of his window on Christmas Eve, destined for the North Pole. When he accepts an invitation from the conductor to climb on board, he embarks on a white knuckle ride to Santa's headquarters. Why do you call it a white knuckle ride? That's interesting. White knuckle ride to Santa's headquarters, where he makes fast friends and learns an invaluable lesson about the true spirit of Christmas. Yeah, so like I said, it would not be a BrickWall holiday or a BrickWall Christmas season unless I was late on a Christmas movie. It happens every year, damn near every year. So this year is no exception. It's fun to do it this way. So, like I said, this is it was a big film. Like, this movie, it plays everywhere come Christmas time. The book is read almost every Christmas time. They have the attractions, they have the rides, and like I said, this is the 20th anniversary of this movie, so it's been a pretty big year. I haven't heard a lot of ratata about the about this movie this year. With it being the 20th, I know they have like a special image for it, but it's really just the 20th, and it's got like a little jingle bell that the boy finds at the end of the movie. But yeah, so I think this movie is something that, for me personally, I can't really say I'm a huge fan of, right? Because like it was oversaturated for me, honestly. Like, this movie was one of those overly exposed movies, like always on over the holidays. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong, but it's just as time has progressed. Matter of fact, I would even say, like, after like my first 2 or 3 viewings, I was just like, I'm good on this movie. So like I mentioned in the synopsis earlier, this boy, he's just disillusioned with the holidays. You kind of start off with that, and they don't say his name. He's actually known and credited as Hero Boy. And Hero Boy is portrayed, honestly. So this is one of the interesting things. I'll talk a little bit about the behind the scenes of this, because there's a lot of interesting things. So Hero Boy, this movie is done a lot with a lot of motion capture and everything. Matter of fact, I'm just looking at this right now. It set the record. It has the record in 2006. Yeah, so it was listed in the 2006 Guinness World Record as the first all-digital capture film. So what that means is that all the performances, everything in this was like motion capture. This was the big motion capture film. I remember, like I said, I remember this coming out, directed by Robert Zemeckis. who was always doing something very interesting with movies and stuff like that. Let's see, is there anything else interesting to talk about before I get into this? Released by Warner Brothers. It did get, we'll get into that. This had originally got $286 million against a record-breaking, at the time, $165 to $170 million budget, which was the highest for an animated feature at the time. And the re-release helped propel the film's gross to $318.2 million worldwide. And that's when I mentioned the thing about the Guinness World Records. So like I said, Hero Boy is portrayed by voice-wise is portrayed by Daryl Sabara, who many of you may know as Junie from the Spy Kids movies, and Josh Hutcherson did the additional motion capture for Hero Boy. Oh wow, I didn't know this. Okay, so check this out. Nona Gay did the voice of Hero Girl, who is one of the kids that Hero Boy meets on the train. She's a little black girl. She's she's smart. She's got what a character like that usually would be in a movie, right? Her additional motion capture was done by Darion Driscoll. The singing voice was done by Megan Moore, and Tinashe was the model, the motion capture model. Tinashe, famous singer Tinashe. I didn't know that. That's why I wanted to read that part. And then you got Billy the Lonely Boy, who the motion capture was done by Billy the Lonely Boy was the little boy that was on the train. I'll get into what these characters do in a second. Motion capture was done by Peter Scolari. Halen McFarlane did an additional motion capture, and Jimmy Bennett did the voice of the Lonely Boy, and Matthew Hall did the singing voice. And then Eddie Deason as the Know-It-All did the voice of the Know-It-All, and Jimmy Pinchak was the additional motion capture for that. So the Know-It-All kid, he sounded like Mandark from Dexter's Lab. Like, that's all I heard every time I've ever seen this fucking Know-It-All kid. He just sounded like Mandark to me. It was the same voice. He was Mandark. Don't you believe it, Santa? Oh, what are you gonna do? So then he do that. Wow. So when the kid gets onto the train, and Tom Hanks. How could I forget Tom Hanks is in this movie? I will circle back to Tom Hanks in a second. So the train pulls up in front of the kid. The conductor says, "Yo, get on. It's going to the North Pole." Because the boy's like, "Where's this train going?" I remember this is even the trailer. He's like, "Where is it going?" "Well, to the North Pole, of course." Like that's how Tom Hanks said it. That's what he said. "Well, to the North Pole, of course. All aboard." So they get on the train, and of course there's other kids on there. That's when Hero Boy meets Hero Girl, the Know-It-All, and little Jimmy, was that his name? Was that his name? Jimmy. Little Billy. And they all kind of getting to know each other. Billy is kind of like, he's kind of a lonely kid. He's a little bit of an outcast. We'll call him the Lonely Boy. And they get into all these different shenanigans on the train. Like at one point, because Billy initially doesn't make it on the train because he doesn't go. But then he kind of like changes his mind. So he's like running after the train. So they hit like the emergency brake and everything. And so they get Billy on the train. So the conductor's like, "What do you think you're doing? Well, I'm going to have to keep an eye on you." I'm like, it's like again, Tom Hanks. So they're on the train. There's this great hot chocolate sequence, which I think everybody knows. Like, hot, 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 we got it. Hot, 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 hot chocolate, we got it. Like, it's with the people running around giving the hot chocolate. The ticket, the guy goes around, the ticket conductor goes around, stamps the ticket, and like has different words on it, but they don't really know what it means. There's a sequence where like they go, like the train ends up going on this ice and stuff like that. So many great fun sequences in this movie. Then of course you get around to the end. There's a lot of different things that happen in this movie. And quite honestly, I'm not the best at like this movie. To me, it's a lot of different things happen. So hold on, let me see. Where was I with this information? So the girl's ticket doesn't get validated. So he tries to get the ticket returned to her, and then it like blows away. So they try to get the ticket, and like there's this hobo on top of the train, and then like like I said, they end up going down this like ice trail, which is like looks like a big old roller coaster ride, which is like one of the fun sequences, one of the most fun sequences of the movie. And all this to they end up back at they end up at the North Pole where they meet Santa. And I think throughout the course of the movie, there's like this bell, and like he rings the bell, but he can't hear it, right? So eventually all their tickets end up saying different words. Like and this part I'm trying to find right now because I can't remember what each ticket said. Does it say this? Yeah, no, I can't find it. But everybody's ticket does say something different. And I know his ends up like from what it originally said, the conductor stamps the rest of the ticket, then it ends up saying believe. So it encourages the boy to actually believe because he's seeing Santa, he's seeing the elves, he's seeing all this stuff like that. And so eventually when he does believe, he rings the bell, you can hear the jingle in the bell. And then, of course, like by the end of the movie, it ends up like, you know, he's telling the story to his kids and stuff like that. And basically, like, you know, as long as you believe and stuff like that. And it even shows that the bell still rings for him as it does for those who truly believe, which is, you know, kind of like what he was told about the bell anyway. If you truly believe, it'll ring for you. And that's pretty much it. So I talked about Tom Hanks earlier. Tom Hanks did the motion capture for like literally every single character. Tom Hanks was, well, okay, so Tom Hanks did the voices for a lot of the characters. So let me see. Tom Hanks did the voice and the motion capture for Hero Boy. He was Hero Boy's father, the conductor, the hobo, the Ebenezer Scrooge puppet, and Santa Claus. So he was like a good amount of the cast. You know, you had other actors and actresses in this. I'm trying to see, is there any other? Steven Tyler was the elf lieutenant and the elf singer. You know, Steven Tyler. But yeah, so this movie, like I said, it's a very interesting movie. It is, you know, it is one of a kind. When it came out. It was very one of a kind. It was very unique. Like I said, it was really released for these big IMAX theaters and stuff like that every year. Almost every year they re-release this movie in theaters. It gets a lot of fanfare. It gets a lot of love, and it is definitely seen as one of those timeless holiday classics. Like during the holiday, more people are likely to watch this movie. It's up there with people who watch The Grinch every year. You know what I'm saying? Like there are people who watch The Polar Express. It's a Christmas tradition. Every year you watch The Polar Express, just like there are people who watch The Grinch every year. And you know, this movie, I can see why it's good. Like I said, it's just not really my cup of tea. It's not something I rush towards. I see it on, I acknowledge it. I know that it's a great movie, but it's not necessarily something that I really like that much. You know, throughout the course of the 20 years that's been out, I've only seen it quite a few times. And the most recent time I watched it, I felt like, this is okay. But I felt like because I've seen so much of it, that I already knew a lot of what happened. So like at certain points, I would just zone out because like I remember so much of this movie. This movie was released November 10th, 2004. So, you know, like I said, it already celebrated its 20th anniversary. Let's see. Is there anything else interesting to tell you? No? All right. Well, I guess I could tell you that this movie did receive mixed reviews from critics. Matter of fact, well, now it sits on it sits at a what? Let me get this Rotten Tomato score for you guys because the sequel. What? A sequel? Hold on. Okay, so check this out. Breaking news. In the January 2024 interview with comicbook.com, the producer Gary Goetzman revealed that a sequel to Polar Express was being worked out, indicating that the project may have entered development, and it's unclear how far along the project is or if it has any chance of being greenlit. I don't want to see a sequel to this. What are you gonna do? He's gonna get back on the train again? Repeat, rehash. Yeah, no, this movie gets a lot of fanfare though. It's a holiday staple. Let's see. Does it have? Oh, here goes reception. So this got a 56% at the time. It had 56%. People were kind of taken aback by the uncanniness of the motion capture people, which is fair. Nowadays, this movie has like a 90 something on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a lot of accolades, like a lot of awards. Me personally, back in 2004, I would have given this like a 3.5, maybe like a 3.8. Currently, I don't know. I guess I can give it like a 4. I guess I'll be a little nicer to it than I was then. I can give it a 4, but I'm still not like really that interested or that pressed about this movie. But I mean, it's still a holiday staple. Now I have to respect that. And they're celebrating 20 years, and it stayed in the cultural zeitgeist for 20 years. It's one of Tom Hanks's most notable pieces of work. So, and all that said, happy 20th anniversary to Polar Express. And here's the other 20, and I am very skeptical about that sequel. But until we get there, I'll be here reviewing stuff, and I'm going to be really pushing to get the rest of these 20th anniversary reviews done. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I hope you guys are doing well, and as New Year comes in, I want to say an early Happy New Year at the time it's recording. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel and already subscribe. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. And all that said, y'all, be easy. Well, I guess I can still say stay holly, be jolly. Happy New Year. Peace out.